Hello and welcome everyone to the Split Screen Podcast once again. I know it's been a minute and I do apologize for that. I did take a little bit of a break. I just didn't think anybody really listened to this show, and I figured I could take a little break and figure out some things, but apparently more people listen to this than I thought. So I'm getting back into it, so I do apologize. I will try my best to keep this every week again. So please forgive me for that abrupt hiatus. But we're back now, and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good again. So I wanted to discuss a couple of things today. One of which, it's about an announcement that came out of left field, honestly, and it was really random. And that is the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl trailer that dropped this week. We're going to discuss my thoughts on that, and then we're going to kind of discuss a question that came up after viewing that, and that question is, can any fighting game be made to compete with Smash Brothers? So we're going to be kind of discussing these things a little bit. This may be a shorter episode. I know I say that every week, but this time I think it really might be a shorter episode because, one, not a lot is known about the Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, and two, you guys probably already have an answer to that last question, but we're going to go ahead and get into the topics. But before we do that, real quick, I just wanted to say, if you want to follow us on our social media pages or on my social media pages, that is, we're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Facebook is Split Screen Podcast. You can find us there. Give us a follow. And Instagram and Twitter are both at Split Screen KC. You can follow us there and stay up to date on things and tweet at us, message us, whatever you want to do. We'd love to hear from you guys, and we'd love and appreciate a follow. Excuse me. And if you guys want to follow my personal pages on Instagram and on Twitter, I am at KCChrisG. You can say hello, say what's up, all that good stuff. Give me suggestions on topics that you would want to hear in the future on a future episode, or ask me any questions on any thoughts that I have, basically about anything. It doesn't matter. But for those of you who are new, welcome to the show. We appreciate you being here, or I appreciate you being here. It means a lot to me. And for those of you who have listened before and have stuck around and showed me some love and support, I couldn't put into words how much it means to me. So thank you so much for listening and coming back. And for those of you who are new, again, thank you, and I hope you stick around. So let's get into this first topic here, and that's my thoughts on the random Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl trailer. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's a fighting game that's based on Nickelodeon characters, and the stages are going to be set in various environments from the Nickelodeon cartoons and TV shows. Honestly, I'm still kind of trying to wrap my head around it because it's just something that no one really asked for, and no one said a word about it being in development or anything, so it was just completely random. And my buddy Alex at work asked me if I'd seen that trailer, and I had no idea what he was talking about. So I watched it, and the only thing that I can think of is this game may be doomed to fail. And the reason I say that is because every game that is similar in gameplay to Smash Brothers, it will always be compared to Smash Brothers. That's just how it is. But I'm going to go into that later. But basically, what I'm saying that for is games like this will always be compared to Smash Brothers. So I think it's just doomed to fail, and I don't want it to fail, but I have a feeling that it's just going to draw too many comparisons, and people are going to expect it to be something that it's not. So, like I said, I'll go more into the detail about that later, but I mean, why play a game like this when there's already a game that has perfected this sort of gameplay and its craft with arguably more recognizable characters and has been running the market with this type of fighting game since 1999? But I'm going to leave it at that. I mean, I do look forward to seeing reviews and more gameplay as the release date continues to approach. It is due for a fall 2021 release. No specific date, but that's the release window that they have so far. It isn't that far off, so hopefully we'll be seeing more gameplay soon. I can see this as a win for people who always wanted to see their favorite Nickelodeon characters in a Smash Brothers game, but never got their wish granted. Maybe this is something that people can be excited for. I mean, I'm not really excited about it, but I mean, I'd at least give it a shot. But can it be successful? And what can this game possibly bring to the table that's different from Smash that could make this game worth purchasing? And how is the gameplay going to keep us coming back for more? And I mean, it's only a minute to a minute and a half teaser trailer. I'm sure we're going to get more in-depth gameplay soon with more features shown, but I mean, there was no percentage bars, there was no health bars, there was really not a whole lot shown other than some fighting moves. I don't recall, I could be wrong on this, maybe there were some special abilities that we've yet to see, or maybe they showed one or two in the trailer. But I will say, one thing that has me excited and one thing that this game has going for it is the roster. And the reason I say that is because, and I just want to say a quick thank you to whoever made this roster, by the way, because they went far back into Nickelodeon's history and picked out some classics from shows that even I watched growing up and my brother watched growing up. They had a character from Ah Real Monsters. Kids these days aren't going to know what the hell Ah Real Monsters is, but I know what it is. My brother knows what it is. I'm sure a bunch of you who find this podcast, you guys might know who it is or what that show is. And they also brought current characters from today's lineup of shows that Nickelodeon has. So I think that it'll make the appeal a little greater, not only the younger kids who might want to try to pick this up to play as their favorite current Nickelodeon characters, but older adults, not even older adults, just adults that grew up watching Nickelodeon as kids, such as myself and my brother and a lot of people that I know that don't watch it now as much as we used to when we were younger. Speaking of that, I still watch SpongeBob on the daily. I think Nate can attest to that. I basically talk to him at work in like 90% SpongeBob quotes. The rest of it is like YouTube video quotes that we find funny that no one else probably would find funny, but that's neither here or there. So, and by the way, I only watched SpongeBob till about season 5 because after that it just turned into utter garbage. But okay, and rant's over. I'm not going to go into that, but the characters in this game, I'm just going to go over a couple of them and show the diversity in this game that you can expect. They have classic characters like SpongeBob and Patrick, who, I mean, let's be honest, you can't make this kind of game without SpongeBob and Patrick. But they also have Reptar from Rugrats, who also just happens to be King of the Ozone. And yeah, and Danny Phantom, who is a perfect fit for a game like this. To new characters like Leonardo from Ninja Turtles, and I know what you're thinking. Ninja Turtles aren't new, but the interpretation or this interpretation of Leonardo, and I'm not sure what other Ninja Turtles they have. I think they have maybe one or two more. They might have all of them. I'm not sure, but this is like the newer style of Ninja Turtles that was made for Nickelodeon. That was made fairly recently, so I'm going to say that that's new. And Lincoln Loud from The Loud House, which I've never watched, but I know who he is. So, I mean, they have characters old and new and everything in between. So it's not just strictly newer Nickelodeon characters, which is why I say that older fans of Nickelodeon could be excited for this, as well as the younger generation who watch Nickelodeon today. So this is going to be a wide variety of people that play this, I guess. I don't, for lack of better words, it's going to be a broader demographic, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So it'll be interesting to see what other characters are revealed and what other characters they don't reveal that maybe we can unlock by playing the game. So what do I hope to see from this game? Well, I'm not exactly sure because I didn't really ask for this game, and I didn't really want this game. I'm not mad that we're getting it, but I didn't wake up one day watching E3 and say, Lord, please let there be a Nickelodeon Smash Brothers-esque fighting game announced today, please. I didn't ask that. So I don't know what I want and hope to see. What I hope to see in the near future anyway are more stages announced, and I'm begging the makers of this game, if they ever hear this, it's not too late. I hope it probably is too late, but maybe DLC. Let's get the salty spittoon in there. Let's get a lot of different environments in there. Let's get, I don't know, I want to be able to fight in the Dimmadome. And speaking of which, I hope that they reveal more characters coming up soon, because I mean, we have characters. Maybe we can put Cat Dog in there. Maybe we can put this one's gonna fly over some people's head, I know it, but Rudy from Chalk Zone. Let's get him in there. I'm sure we can get some special moves for him going. Okay, so I had some audio difficulties, so there might be a little bit of an editing error in there, so I do apologize. I'm gonna get right back into it, but I think I just mentioned Rudy from Chalk Zone, and I'm gonna bring this up again because it was just too funny to not include. I want to include Doug Dimmadome, owner of the Dinsdale Dimmadome, and I think I was talking to Alex, or it was either him or Nate, but if he were a playable character, it would be the funniest thing ever, because we would put his hat as like an endless hat, so whenever somebody gets knocked out and it zooms out of the stage, you just see his hat just continually going forever and ever, and I think it would just be hilarious to see. And if he gets knocked around, his hat would just be a giant line going across the string, whatever direction he gets knocked. It would just be so funny to see that. But anyway, there's a lot of characters. We have Cat Dog. We can do Dimsdale or Doug Dimmadome. One thing that wasn't shown was Timmy Turner or Cosmo and Wanda and Jimmy Neutron. They better put them in there, as long as Timmy Turner doesn't look like he did in the Jimmy Neutron Fairly Odd Parents crossover Power Hour thing that they did, because that was straight nightmare fuel. But anyway, I digress. Other than that, not much is known about this game. So other than its release window, which is fall 2021, like I said before, and that it's going to be available on current and last gen Xbox and PlayStation consoles, along with the Nintendo Switch and the PC. So yeah, I'm not sure what to think of this game. I'm sure they'll be revealing a little bit more coming up soon, considering that, I mean, fall is creeping up very quickly. So I think we're gonna not like immediately, but it's gonna be coming up maybe in about a month or two is when we're gonna get some details, maybe more in September or something like that, and then we should have a release date by then as well. So I'll pass the question over to you, the listener. What are you hoping to see from this game, and were you surprised to see this trailer that seemingly came out of nowhere? What are your thoughts on the trailer, and what are you hoping for from this game? Are you excited for the release, or are you wondering why this was even made, like I am? I mean, me personally, I'm curious to see other details that are revealed, like I said before, and I would pretty much only consider purchasing this. I'm still working on my English 25 years later. I'm only considering purchasing. Oh my goodness, Chris. You know what? I'm going to consider buying this. How's that? I'm going to consider buying this for my kids because they both love to watch Nickelodeon. They both love SpongeBob. I think they like the Loud House and the Casa Grandes, and they like a bunch of other shows. So maybe I'll consider buying it for them, and I guess I might as well play it. But what are your thoughts? Are you excited? Are you going to buy it, or are you just kind of saying, what the hell? Why was this even made? So leave it in our comment section on our social media pages. I'd love to hear from you. I keep saying we, like there's more than one person running this thing, but it's just me. So I'd love to hear from you. Leave it in the comment section on our Facebook and Instagram or tweet us. Oh my gosh, tweet me. And I'd appreciate some feedback. So I guess that's it. That was kind of a short discussion. I don't know if the audio is going to be chopped up and a bunch of this is going to be left out. I hope not. But for some reason, my microphone is struggling today. I'm having some technical difficulties, so I do apologize for that. But hopefully you stick around through the break, which is coming up right now. Now that I'm done talking about this whole topic, there's really not much more to say. So coming up here after this short break, I'm going to be talking about, can there be a fighting game made to compete with Smash Brothers, and why or why not I think this can be done. So stick around after this short break. I'll see you here in a minute. I'm Casey Chris G, and I love you. Hey, it's me again, Casey Chris G. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Split Screen Podcast. I believe this is episode 8. I'm not sure, I lost count. But we're going on to part 2. Just before we go on to part 2, though, I just want to say thank you again for listening. I really do appreciate it. Hope you guys are doing okay. It's a beautiful day here in Kansas City. So I'm wishing... It's actually pretty humid today. Anyway, welcome back to the show. My name's Casey Chris G. I'm your host, and I'm going to have you just for a little bit longer before this episode is over. And we're going to go on to topic 2, which is, can any fighting game be made to compete with Nintendo's Smash Brothers? If you don't know what Smash Brothers is and you've been living under a rock, let me just explain it to you real quick. It's a fighting game. It's a 2D linear fighting game where your objective is to launch your opponents off the stage and send them flying really far. There's no health bar like your typical fighting games. It's all Nintendo characters. There's even third-party characters in there now, and more characters are being added as we speak from other franchises that aren't Nintendo's. But it's just a giant, colossal, it's Avengers level, Avengers-esque. Nah, that's not a fair comparison. But what I will say is that it's just any Nintendo character that you think of, they're probably in there. Any of the main characters anyway. So if you are a fan of Nintendo and haven't heard of Smash Brothers by now, 1, what the hell have you been doing? And 2, you need to pick this up ASAP. Smash Brothers has been around since 1999, so I was only 3 years old when it first released, and it's been going strong for 22 years now. So if you haven't played it yet, do yourself a favor, head to your nearest buddy that has this game and just play it, because it is a, no pun intended, smashing time. So get on that. So the sudden and out of left field reveal of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl and its similarities to Smash Brothers in some regards maybe ask the question of, can something compete realistically or even top Nintendo's Smash Brothers? And I mean, it'd be nearly impossible, because with characters like Mario, Link, and various Pokemon, and Samus, Captain Falcon, and Sonic the Hedgehog, Mega Man, there's so many characters from so many franchises. It's extremely hard to even fathom how you would be able to top this series, And maybe I'm biased because I've been playing these games since I understood how to play them. I think it was Melee when I really got into this series after getting my ass beat by my brother countless times, and realized how deep these games can get. I mean, they have the formula down to a science, really. And I mean, it's got everything. It's got amazing stages to fight on. The soundtracks are just absolutely gorgeous and beautiful, and the characters are recognized all around the world. And the most important thing to me, anyway, is the easy to learn but hard to master controls and characters. Every character plays differently, for the most part, and anybody can pick up a controller and play it, but it takes time to master all these movesets and these characters, and to learn the advantages that each character has and the disadvantages in terms of whenever they're fighting a certain character or on a certain stage, or if it's teams, if there's items on or off. There's so much that goes into it, and it's just unfair, really, to any other game that attempts to make a game in this style and format. I mean, it has controls and characters and mechanics that keep you coming back for more. And it doesn't matter if you're the casual player that plays every other week, or if you're the person that goes to tournaments at your local Kurger Bing, where if you win you get a free Whomper with foot lettuce in it, or if you're a pro and participate in national tourneys. Like it's good for all ages and all play styles. It's just a game for the people, and it's that I'm gonna leave it at that. Really, honestly, other games have attempted this formula in the past, and they didn't. I mean, some didn't necessarily fail, but they didn't hit the same marks and levels of achievement and praise that Smash Brothers has hit in years past. And that being said, any game that comes out that is a 2D linear fighter like this will forever be compared to Smash. It doesn't matter if Smash is stopped being made after Ultimate. Let's say 30 years down the road when I'm 55 and Nickelodeon, I don't know, or how about Microsoft's Ultimate Fighting Championship 3 comes out. It's always going to be in the back of people's minds. Yeah, but Smash Brothers did this better. It had this. This game didn't do this as well as Smash Brothers, or it did this a little bit better than Smash Brothers, but it didn't do this, so Smash is better. It's always going to be that way, and it's. I said it earlier. It's unfair because Smash has been around for so long, and no other game has really come close to replicating its formula and its success. So I guess my answer to can it be topped? No. Games, can they compete? Yeah, sure, but like I said, Smash has been around since 1999, and I haven't heard a single person that isn't excited about a new Smash Brothers game. And I don't know, like when PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale or whatever the hell it is came out, people are like, I don't know, I'm not gonna pick it up. But Smash Brothers, that was an instant. That was the reason why I got my Wii U. It was the reason why I bought a GameCube again. It was the reason why I wanted a Switch. Like, Nintendo keeps me coming back for more, and I haven't felt that way about any other fighting game. And that's just facts. And you could have a different opinion. That's fine. But for me personally, I do not think that something will ever top Smash Brothers' success, and it will be the gold standard going forward, and always will be the golden standard, and always has been the golden standard for games like these. They're the godfathers of this play, of this style of fighter, I guess, and nothing will compare. Let's be real. So maybe it's best to go into games like this with a completely empty or open mindset. Just get Smash Brothers out of your head and just review it for what it is. PlayStation All-Stars Battle Royale Ultra Mega Turbo 2 Tournament Edition featuring Dante from the Devil May Cry series with new Funky Kong mode or whatever the hell, released in 2012. And it was received decently well. I think it had decent scores across the board. I could be mistaken, though, but from what I've seen, it wasn't a terrible game. But that was released in 2012, and not another one has been made since. It's almost been a decade. And, I mean, we haven't gotten a sequel. So what does that tell you? I mean, we've been, 2 generations later, and it hasn't received a sequel. So what message does that send? Does does Sony or PlayStation not think that it was successful? I don't know. I mean, from what I've seen, it was a decent game. I've never played it, so I don't know, but I've seen enough gameplay to where I saw similarities and differences, and they tried to mix it up enough, and it seemed like it was a fun time. But they haven't made one in a decade, or almost a decade, so I'm wondering what the issue is, unless they're making one and haven't announced it yet. I'm not sure, but at least from my experience, every time I asked a buddy who owned it or played it, they said it didn't really satisfy that Smash craving they had. It didn't really scratch that itch, which brings me back to that point of you can't go into a game like that expecting it to be Smash because it's not Smash. You know what I mean? So, I mean, I don't know. It just can't be topped, you know? Microsoft hasn't even attempted to try something like this because they're probably thinking the same thing I am. There's just no way. I mean, speaking of that, if they attempted something like this, which characters would they have, you know? Like, I mean, Master Chief, of course, along with Marcus Phoenix, maybe Queen Mira and the Arbiter. Doom Guy, I know that they have Bethesda Studios, and I mean, they have Banjo, maybe Conquer, I don't know. Do they have the rights to Conquer? I think that was a Rare property. A plane from Microsoft Simulator, that'd be kind of cool. A car from Forza Horizon, maybe. Ori from Will of the Wisps, that might be a good addition, but I just don't think the roster would be enough to justify making something like that. So I think all the console developers and studios are saying, let's just leave this to Nintendo. They've mastered the art. Let's just not even bother. Except Nintendo, they're just like, you know what, fuck it, we'll make it. But I don't know. My bottom line is Smash is top tier, and it will always be top tier. So the answer to the big question, in my opinion, no. Nothing will ever top it. Nothing will compete to where it'll make Nintendo scared. Nintendo has the monopoly, and it will always have that. But I'll pass the question off to you. What do you think? Do you think someone can make a game that can rival Smash Brothers? Or do you think Nintendo will always run the table on that kind of fighting game and will continue to do so? And also, I want to know your thoughts on what happens when Nintendo decides that they're done with Smash Brothers. Or I'd also like to know your thoughts on where do you think that they would go if they decided to go the opposite direction and continue making Smash Brothers games? I mean, where do you possibly go after Smash Brothers Ultimate? I think that's going to be another topic for another episode because that's a huge game, and I mean it's Ultimate. What are you going to do next after Ultimate? I mean, how do you possibly top it? But that's going to be another episode for another day. That's a whole other topic. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on today's topics, though, and leave your thoughts on our social media pages, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. Once again, our Facebook is Split Screen Podcast, and both of our Twitter and Instagrams are at Split Screen KC. You can follow me, your host, KC Chris G, on Facebook, or not Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. Both are at KC Chris G. If you want to send me some hate mail, please do so, and call me an idiot. I'd love to hear your thoughts, or if you agree with me, let me know, or if you just want to say hello, that'd be cool too. I love talking with you. So just let me know your thoughts on today's topics, and I would absolutely love having a discussion with you. So once again, my name is KC Chris G. It's been a pleasure hosting you. I hope you guys enjoyed today's show. And again, it means so much to me that you guys have come back. And for those of you who are new that stuck around to the end of the show, hopefully you come back next week. I'm going to try to do these every week. So leave me suggestions on our Facebook and Twitter, Instagram pages as well. So I hope you have a wonderful day or night, depending on where you're listening to this from. Stay safe. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. Once again, I'm KC Chris G. This has been the Split Screen Podcast, Episode 8. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.